Distinguished guests, fellow Rotarians, and Prime Minister, if I may, I also include you in the category of fellow Rotarians, and I have a Rotary pin to give you in a few minutes. Welcome everyone, it's a delight to see you here tonight for what is a departure from the usual annual President's Dinner, and Prime Minister, I'm really delighted that you're also here. You may recall that I took the liberty of asking you last year if you'd become an honorary member of the Rotary Club of Wellington, our Rotary Club, and I was delighted when you said yes. You're the first Prime Minister to join our club, and you've started a tradition which we hope will continue, with you being the incumbent for a long time, I might add, of Prime Ministers being honorary members of the founding Rotary Club of New Zealand. The most important citizens in our country and our city since the days of Sir Willoughby Norrie as Governor-General have been honorary members of this club, or members. The Rotary Club of Wellington has a proud history. The oldest and largest Rotary Club in New Zealand, we were founded in 1921. Rotary and its members have a history of being there at the beginning, helping found, foster and grow institutions many Wellingtonians and New Zealanders now take for granted. CCS, formerly the Crippled Children's Society, Wellington's Karatani Hospital, the Hutt Valley Housing and Settlement Scheme, Wellington Tuberculosis Association, Meals on Wheels, Children's Day, the Wellington Mobile Blood Transfusion Service. The Rotary Club of Wellington assisted in the foundation of the Cancer Society of New Zealand. And more recently, the club has been involved in the Child Health Foundation and the Wellington Botanic Gardens Education Centre. Wellington Free Ambulance continues to be a cause we support. It was the brainchild of Sir Charles Norwood, a charter member of this club. Now we have the annual Rotary Forum and Eureka, the Sir Paul Callaghan Awards, which you opened last year. So as you see, we do have a proud history. Rotary has its origin in 1905 when a Chicago businessman invited three others to meet to discuss what they might be able to do to help the less well-off in society. That man was Paul Harris, and he and his friends rotated, hosting weekly meetings. From that rotation came the name Rotary and the Rotary Wheel we are familiar with today. In honour of its founder, Rotary International instituted an award, the Paul Harris Fellow Award. This award is given to Rotarians and others outside Rotary who have given outstanding service to their club or to the community or society at large. In a few minutes, I'll invite you, Prime Minister, to present three such Paul Harris Fellow Awards to members of this club. But before we do that, I'd like to call on you to speak to us, Prime Minister.
Kia ora and good evening and welcome to Premier House. I don't know if I've mentioned how wonderful it is to welcome you here in the vibrant, energetic and enthusiastic capital of what a go-ahead place, I say to myself as I walk around. Full of vitality and energy.
Well said.
Well said, exactly. That's right. And youth. That's right, and youth. It's a very bright future, I have absolutely no doubt whatsoever. In case you worry about age, I should probably tell you I was at at Pyro at a public meeting about, I don't know, it must have been about 3 weeks ago. And a woman got up, it was question and answer time, she was in her 80s actually, was my guess, and she said, I don't really have a question, dear, I have a statement to make. And I said, okay. She said, you're doing a very good job. I said, thank you very much. So much so, she said that my mother voted for you in the last election. So I looked at this woman and I said, oh, okay. She said, yes, well, my mother's 107. So I said, well, that's very nice. She said, well, the remarkable thing is actually that she had voted Labour her entire life. Started with Michael Joseph Savage the whole way through, and when she turned 105 in the 2011 election, she changed horses, right? So curiosity killed the cat. I said to her, why on earth did she change? She said, well, you're such a nice young thing, right? Well, I'm 51, you know, I don't consider myself to be such a nice young thing. Although, speaking of nice young things, I took my wife out for breakfast about 2 weeks ago, and we were in Auckland actually at this cafe, and as some people know, the National Party is having its regional conferences at the moment, so all weeks pretty much around the country are in Parliament, and the weekends at the regional conferences. So anyway, we went up, and I went up to the brain, I must go and pay the bill, so this girl was about 19, I suppose, and anyway, there she was, and she said, look, I just come to pay the bill. She goes, I know you from somewhere. Look kind of familiar. And I said, oh, and anyway, the other waiters around her, by this stage, starting to crack up. And I went, oh, well, you know, she says, no, give me a clue. I know. Well, I've never felt this burning sensation before, welling up my stomach to say, don't you know who I am? But it hasn't worked terribly well for us recently, so I was that thought for a moment, and then moved on eventually to tell her, yes, I was the Prime Minister. Well, with that, this redness started at her chin, moved up to her forehead, then she burst into tears. So, don't worry about it. Half my caucus don't know who I am. Anyway, sure, we're here tonight, most importantly, to acknowledge and thank you for your year as President of Wellington Rotary Club, and to pay tribute to your leadership and the leadership of the club. And I think, you know, I know I speak for all New Zealanders when I say that Rotary has made a remarkable contribution to this country. I go around from one end to the other and see the deeds and the result of the efforts of Rotarians. And of course, very recently we were up in the Boao Forum in Hainan Island, where we had an opportunity to meet Bill Gates, who, as you're aware, is really dedicating his life now and his resources to a number of key initiatives. But one of those, of course, is the elimination of polio, along with the enormous efforts that have been put on by Rotary clubs around the world. And he pointed out to me, of course, that if they manage to achieve this feat, and there's only 3 countries in the world that polio is still prevalent, it'll only be the second disease in the world that's ever been eliminated. So it's no insignificant feat, and it shows you the reach and the depth of what Rotary does. So you're a remarkable institution, and you know, you're to be congratulated. You're obviously a lunchtime club, because I've come and spoken to you on a Monday lunchtime, and I think that's a very sensible time to be talking. And I may as well finish where I sort of began, I suppose, and that is, or somewhat began, and that is to pay respect to Rotary with my favourite story about Rotary. And that was many years ago when I was leader of the opposition. I went to a Sunday evening function, and Chris Carter was there, and he was the minister for the Labour government back in those days. I was leader of the opposition, so he got up and spoke first, and he said, you know, it's wonderful to be here tonight, and you know, the Chinese Rotarians make an incredible contribution to New Zealand. They're wonderful people, and the deeds they do are great, and just what a fantastic evening this is, and what a brilliant thing to do. And I got up and said, all of that is absolutely true. The only problem, Chris, is you're at the Chinese Lions this evening. So.
At which point we left. And I wandered around the tables for the rest of the evening, and I'm sure we won a few more votes. Anyway,
Good, thank you very much.